Hi, I'm Sherry Storms, licensed customs broker with Pacific Customs Brokers Canada. My topic today is shipping to Canada and tips for avoiding delays with Canada Customs clearance. Costly delays in customs clearance are often the cause of missing information on the documentation. Customs documentation is one of the most important elements of international shipping. Once you have determined that your commodity is admissible into Canada, accurately completed documentation will help your shipment reach its destination on time, and it will reduce the risk of it being held up by customs. What documentation do you need to ship to Canada? There are countless requirements set down by customs for various different types of commodities and circumstances. It is not possible to fit this question into a one-size-fits-all answer. However, what we need to look at is that although each commodity could have a vast array of documentation requirements, the minimum requirements are often the same. All exports to Canada require specific information for clearance through Canada Customs, and the Canada Customs invoice is the most common form utilized. A commercial and/or sales invoice can be used instead of a Canada Customs invoice, provided that the required information is included. The required information is the vendor, also known as the party selling the goods to the purchaser and/or the party consigning the goods to Canada. The importer of record, meaning the party responsible to import the goods into Canada and for payment of any duties or taxes. A full description of all items in layman's terms. It is important that the invoice itself clearly indicate what the item is, what it's used for, and what it's made of, etc. This is one of the most common pieces of missing information and the most underutilized success tools. Another common piece of missing information is the country of manufacture for each item shipped. You will need to indicate the quantity, meaning the number of packages and weight being shipped, the value, unit prices and extensions, the currency of settlement, the conditions of sale. Be sure to include the Incoterm being used, the reason for the shipment, as well as any cash or trade-related discounts. And lastly, a reference number. For example, an invoice, PO, or project number. Documentation that does not include these basic elements will likely be stopped and questioned for more information. The more effort you put in up front to properly prepare your documentation, the less opportunity you have for delays and risk of penalty. We recommend that when shipping to Canada, ensure that your key personnel have a basic understanding of the documentation requirements. It is also important to consult with your service provider in order to verify your documents. Verifying your documents for completeness can result in the proper payment of duties and taxes, create increased effectiveness in the supply chain, ensure your ability to withstand a customs audit, and helps your company understand the significance of being a sophisticated importer or exporter. And remember, non-compliance with customs regulations can result in costly delays at time of release, the suspension of cross-border privileges, and penalties which ultimately affect your bottom line. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and be sure to look for future installments of Your Broker Knows informational video series.